And now, it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, Corey Sandin, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and Corey Sandin.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. I'm Pete Gray with Rock Cod Rick Maxa. We're in the world headquarters of Let's Talk Hookup here right next to the San Diego landings in Point Loma, and we have a great guest this morning for you. Nick Kelly from West Coast Marine, Parker Boats, Yamaha Outboards. We're going to be talking some boats, some fishing, and more. You stay tuned. This is Southern California's sport fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
You've heard all about it. You know the anglers catching fish have it, so what's holding you back? It's a fact. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. You can get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Martin Island, 365 days a year. FishDope.com is for everyone, whether you have your own boat, fish on your friend's boat, or a sport boat. FishDope.com has online planning tools, moon phase, tides, hot bite icons, and more. So bottom line is, if you don't have FishDope.com, well, you're probably missing a lot of bites. Membership costs less than $50 of gas, and that's for the entire year. That's right, 1 year. What a bargain. Plus, use the special code to save $20 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel.
For your next fishing adventure, check Point Loma Sport Fishing. They offer half-day trips on the Daily Double and full-day trips on the Mission Bell every day. Perfect for novice or seasoned fishermen. Point Loma Sport Fishing also offers overnight to multi-day trips on the American Angler, Vagabond, Intrepid, Independence, Loan, T-Bird, Game Changer, and more. Visit PointLomaSportFishing.com where you can purchase tickets online. Want to go fishing? Point Loma Sport Fishing has you covered.
It's Ford Truck Month, San Diego. Time to get up and get into a new Ford F-150. Part of the F-Series, America's best-selling truck for 46 years straight. And here's some big news. There's a great selection of Ford F-150s in stock and ready for delivery today. So visit your San Diego County Ford dealer and see all the fantastic offers on America's best-selling trucks that are available during Truck Month. They'll be glad to hook you up.
Hi, I'm Wendy Tochihara from Iserline. Stop by our booth at the Bard Hall shows in Del Mar and Long Beach. Check out our new products, enter our knot tying contest, and ask questions of our Iserline fishing coaches at the Bard Hall shows. See you there.
Talk Hookup today is going to be a great day. Talking Parker Boats.
Yeah.
Looking forward to this one, man.
We were just talking about with Nick with all our Parker boats, right, Rick? I have an 18 with a 150 on it. You have a 25, right?
With a 300, and we love it. I mean, it's the reason they're the most popular boats. The spot says it all. They are just perfect for what we do. They're perfect.
They're although they're made in North Carolina, they're made for the West Coast guys, right, Nick? Yeah,
absolutely.
They're the thing that attracts me is the it only frills when you want them. It's like you build the boat, right? And I remember Kevin, your Uncle Kevin, who we miss dearly and spent many years with us here on Let's Talk Hookup with Lucy at his side in the world headquarters here. Used to say, it's like, I'll build it the way you want it, right?
For sure, yeah. That's the fun part about those cabin boats is we can build it as you want. There's no Gucci stuff, so it comes as a blank slate, and let's rig it. Yeah,
for sure. So we should introduce now. Nick's been around with West Coast Marine for a long, long time, right? But now you are the new owner, right?
Correct. Yeah, I've been doing the service side I'm going on 15 years.
15 years
with that. That'll be this summer.
Wow.
And then the Parker thing is a new venture for me.
Wow.
You were telling a story. I mean, you were there when the Parker line came to West Coast.
Correct, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, about 2010, 2011 when Kevin ended up getting that.
Yeah, and made the deal with Linwood Parker.
Correct,
Good old boa from North Carolina.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Flew out there, handshake deal. Let's send some boats out west and get them rigged up.
Now, is
That's
Robin
so rad.
Parker still involved? Or are they I know they sold the company, but...
They sold it to Correct Craft. She's still... They live right there next to the factory. And so when I was back there for the sales meeting, she is a presence still around that area.
Oh,
Okay, cool.
So I did see her there, along with Linwood.
Yeah, Linwood's still involved.
He keeps tabs on what's going on.
Yeah.
That's rad.
All right.
His name's on the side. He still keeps an eye on it.
Oh, yeah.
That's rad.
Yeah, he can't give that up.
That's cool.
So, and you're still, of course, at West Coast involved in the service side of it too, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
It's under one roof, selling Parkers out front, doing the Yamaha service in the back, and sales. So heavily involved in repowers. A lot of repowers, repower a lot of Parkers because people keep their old ones too and can make them new again.
And the engines are getting so much better these days.
They're amazing. It's
crazy.
Yeah, they're absolutely incredible. And the stuff that Yamaha's doing with digital steering and that kind of stuff is
Wait a minute. Digital steering, what's that all about?
fly-by-wire steering is electric steering. So you might have heard of Helmmaster EX is their new digital steering. So it's
like
all
the joystick
electric
type thing?
It gets you the joystick. They have their own autopilot. It gives you features like slow troll mode. So I have a 2520 that I rigged Helmmaster EX with because I just had to see how it worked.
Yeah.
And one of the favorite features of that boat now with the digital steering is you can slow troll like to 1 mile an hour, 2 mile an hour, 3 mile an hour, and so forth and so on. And what that does is it kicks in the motors in and out of gear on their own to keep you at that speed. So slow trolling is a blast to do. You don't have to feather the throttles all the time. And
Don't have to throw a chute out the back or anything.
Right,
like that,
I'm fishing with my kids now, and I don't have to do as much. I can just kind of untangle their lines
Wow.
and mine. But yeah.
That's pretty cool. What else does Helmmaster do?
So they got the joystick, so it's independent steering. So the engines can act on their own. So you can crab walk that boat completely sideways without the use of a bow thruster.
That is one of those things that almost has to be seen to believe. Like, but seeing that Helmmaster, there's a joystick, and you pull that joystick, backwards diagonal, and the boat like diagonally backwards like slides into its spot. It's so impressive.
It is, and on the Parker boats retrofitting it, my boat's a 2018. It actually works really pretty darn well.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was neat to see that work.
Now, will that works with a twin outboard application only?
It will do twin outboards is great. It'll do single. You can do the joystick now, so you can get that slow troll mode. You can do autopilot on the single motor. So the features are trickling down to single engines, which is
Ricky.
Really
oh,
yeah, right.
Thinking you and Neil, maybe, huh?
Totally.
Yeah, might have to happen.
Problem is, we got to get another 4,000 hours out of this one before we.
Yeah, you got some time.
Yeah. So is it a totally separate motor? You have to do you have to repower to do that?
You don't. That's a good question. You can. There's bolt-on digital electric steering that bolts onto where your hydraulic steering.
Never mind.
See? There you go.
Yeah, so you can do that.
And what motors? Any of the Yamaha motors?
Down to 150s now.
Wow.
We'll take that, yeah.
That's cool.
Wow, so I could put it on my 18.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
That'd be fun.
Now, what about you mentioned autopilot? I mean, could that in theory take place of an aftermarket autopilot unit? I mean, will that do everything, steer the boat, or is that just in the lower speeds?
Yes, it'll do everything.
Wow.
Like I took out a Simrad autopilot unit and put in the Yamaha autopilot.
Kidding.
And you can set, different courses A, B, C, D, and it'll follow that track. And what's kind of interesting, too, is at the last point, it'll automatically come back on the throttles and slow your boat down when you get to your last destination that you have booked.
That's
it's
pretty
fascinating stuff.
That's cool.
Amazing technology. And when you say electrical steering, so there's no hydraulic cable. It's all electronic.
Exactly. All electronic. No more hydraulic hoses running through the boat, which is nice because with the Parkers 25 down to 23, 25, 28, we do a lot of second stations.
Exactly.
So
that was my immediate thought. How
not
nice is
having
that
to run
be?
Everything through those aluminum tubes on your structure up top makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, now you just have to run a wire.
Just a wire.
That's
just
awesome.
a wire.
That's awesome.
And the reliability?
It never had a problem.
Yeah.
Never had a problem.
Well, it's Yamaha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to bring out anything that's not going to be reliable. That's their
No,
reliability.
They prove their stuff before it comes
That's
to
cool.
the dealers.
Absolutely, yeah.
How is getting motors? I know, we talked about it in the past, and during the COVID times, it was so difficult to get. And you'd mentioned that you guys are doing repowers. Is that a thing that we could realistically? Somebody's out there and thinking like, man, that sounds good, and it's time. I mean,
Yes, it's a lot better now. We had a struggle for about a year and a half of not getting really anything, which was frustrating for customers and for us dealers.
Sure.
This year, we're starting to get back to what was 2019 numbers and motors trickling in.
That's great.
The bigger stuff's finally coming in. We do have quite a few smaller engines as well.
Cool.
Wow. Same with Parker.
Same with Parker.
Yeah.
Yep, those boats are coming in. They have been on point this year, getting us boats in their time frame. They tell us when they're going to be built, tell us how long it's going to be built, and then the projected ship time of that boat, so we can really have a more structured year.
So if somebody wants to custom order, okay, let's say I want a 2520 with a 300 with the Hellmaster on it.
Right.
When am I going to get it?
That would be going to the next year's order. So
Okay.
I've got about 6 more boats coming this year, and then in July, August, I'll be making another order for next year's.
But the good news is, if you want a 2520, you have one? Is that true?
I do. I currently have 2 sitting on the lot right now.
Whoa.
2520, the Pilot House.
25,
Oh,
25.
okay, yeah, pitching.
All right, what about a 23?
I have 3 more coming.
Wow.
That'll be, I think they're about 2 months away.
That are not spoken for.
There's a lot of activity on there.
I bet so, especially after a PCS show and
Yeah.
everything else. I'll bet.
Oh, what a great show that was. Yeah.
That's cool.
We had a
Yeah.
blast at PCS. Super happy for Bill DePriest and those guys putting that on.
Absolutely. Because you've been there for years.
Yeah, we were one of the first ones there just when it was one hall.
Okay.
And you walked in the entrance and it was just like us and 20 other vendors, and to see where it is now, I'm just super happy for those
Yeah.
guys. It's awesome.
It's a great show.
They've worked hard. And you're going to be at Bart Hall Long Beach.
We'll be at Long Beach.
Yeah.
Trying to sell
That's
some
gonna
more
be a good
boats.
one. Yeah.
Yep, it'll be a
That's
great
awesome.
one.
So the word is, if you want one for the season, you better get on it.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think the season's kicking off. Your guests yesterday were talking about it. Got everybody fired up.
Oh, yeah.
So got to get that boat now. Or if you have one, get it ready.
Yeah.
That's going to be a tough call because there's more than 2 people thinking about buying those 2 boats. And, it's going to get to that point where like, oh, man, I should have pulled the trigger.
That 2520 is like the perfect boat for offshore bluefin.
It really
You have
is.
one, right?
I have one.
Yeah.
It's a 2018, and I loved it last summer.
Yeah.
I mean, my wife caught her first Dorado last summer, took my kids out all the time on it. We just had some of the best days.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's just such a unique boat that has so much room. There's so much cockpit area. But then when you're done fishing or whatever, or traveling home or wanting to have lunch, that you can just walk inside, shut the door, take your jacket off. You're dry. You're comfortable. There's plenty of room to be and spread out. And like you say, if you got the kids, they can crawl in, or not even the kids. I mean, anybody can crawl in and take a nap. It's perfect. It's got everything, and then it still fits in a trailer and can live in your driveway if you need.
Yeah, one thing I loved about that boat, or just the cabin boats in general, I was coming from some express boats and center consoles that I kind of had did some projects on. But to come back from a long day and get into you close the door, you're in the cabin, you're warm, dry, your eyes aren't sunburnt, and you go into the harbor and you're like, well, I actually can feel like I want to fillet some fish now. I'm not I'm not beat up.
Yeah.
Yeah, really nice.
For sure. No, it's nice. So you came from the motor side. So
Yes.
you have a very, obviously, a very good understanding of mechanical issues and such like that. So when you're outfitting somebody, you can really kind of help them, analyze stuff and put
we
the
have
right
a
thing on there.
great team. I came up under Gonzalo, who's got a shop down here now, who
Right.
trained me from when I was 23 years old or whatever it was.
Wow.
And just Yamahas. So over the last 15 years, know those motors very, very
That's
well.
awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. So let's talk about service for a second. What are we looking at? I mean, motors today, in fact, I was talking to Harold Davis yesterday about his old Corvettes and how, cars today and outboards today are so much more dependable than they used to be. I mean, there's no carburetors and there's no, you really need to change spark plugs that often, that kind of stuff. I mean, tune-ups, like, when was the last time you had a tune-up on your car, right? It was like, so things are so much more reliable and dependable and less service these days, right?
Yeah, that's true. And some people get a little bit wary of the digital stuff that's coming out and fly-by-wire and electrical shifting and steering. It's been out for a long time, and I've really had no issues with any of that from Yamaha, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
It's very, very, very reliable.
Most, or for years, most of them have had electronic shifting, right?
Yes, that came out in 2007-8 with the 350. It was the first electric shifting, digital.
So it's been out for 15 years almost.
Yes, and it's relatively the same.
Yeah. And any problems?
No, I've switched out a few actuators in the motor for the electric shifting part, but normally it's wear and tear on like the shift shaft. Salt deposits get in there and kind of bind it up, and then the shift shaft can't move, and that will give an alarm or code. But that's more of like just wear and tear on the motor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Certainly, I mean, the same thing if, a mechanical version has its same issues too.
Correct.
Yeah.
Same.
Is the electronic better on the motor than the mechanical? Because I always think, whenever somebody grabs my shifter, because I still have a man on that 18,
sure,
and it's like grinding, and it's like, no, put it in gear.
Yeah, really put it in gear.
Yeah, the less issues with that, and that's got to be better for the motor, right?
I couldn't tell you certainly, but it seems like it.
Yeah,
because
totally.
Yes, the grinding into gear with a mechanical motor does sound pretty nasty at times, and it's kind of more like a click in and out of gear.
So what's happening when you're grinding those gears?
There's just your shift shaft goes into the lower unit, and there's a clutch that's just moving a gear and hitting it. Essentially, it's a bad explanation, but
no,
there's just a couple of metal pieces smashing into each other.
Yeah,
and the grind is that grinding, it's spinning, and then it hits into the gear.
Trying to get into the gear.
Correct.
That can't be good.
No, that's why you get some metal in the lower units and you should do your service and change that gear oil.
Yeah, for sure. Well, as you can hear, we have a great show lined up for today. Nick is a wealth of knowledge about Parker boats, Yamaha outboards, service. We haven't even ventured into trailers yet, which is another important factor for trailer boats, right?
Yes, and so much stuff to cover on the boats, and I mean, just everything about it. That's one of the things that West Coast always has been, always will be, and past and present and future is. There's just so much knowledge there about setting those boats up right. Bait systems, electronics, towers, metal fabrication, everything. It's just going to be a great show. Super looking forward to having Nick in here, talking fishing and talking Parker boats. And we want to talk to you. If you want to be a part of Let's Talk Hookup this morning, give us a call at 213-432-1090. Again, 213-432-1090. That's how you reach us on the phones. Or you can send us a text. Going to be a great day on the text the show option as well. That's only available through the Let's Talk Hookup app. If you've got a question you want to send to Nick via text, just open up that Let's Talk Hookup app and make sure that you include your contact info with your text. Because if you win the big prize at the end of the show today, we want to make sure to be able to reach you and get it back to you because, man, we are giving away a cool prize today at the end of Let's Talk Hookup. And that's a brand new pair of Costa Del Mar sunglasses. It's a great prize. You basically get given a gift certificate that's a value of up to $300. Pick virtually any pair of Costas you want, and you got them any style, any frame, any lens color, whatever you want. You got a brand new pair of Costas coming your way. If you got cash left over, man, get yourself one of those killer sun shirts that they have, or maybe some, they got soft side cooler, all kinds of cool stuff. Yeah, really, really cool opportunity. $300 Costa coming your way. Again, if you want to get a shot at that, give us a call. 213-432-1090, or again, send us a text via the Let's Talk Hookup app. Going to be a great show, talking fishing, talking Parker boats, and when we come back, we're going to be talking to you. Lots of Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. You stay tuned at Southern California's sport fishing voice. This is Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
Hayden Lane here from Fast Lane Kayaking, and I got to tell you about all the rad new stuff we have in the shop. Like the fully updated new line of Hobie inflatable kayaks, the iTrek series. Hobie took the best-selling i11S and made it even better. Then added new models like it, like the new iTrek 9 that weighs just 37 pounds, fully rigged, packs into a small bag with wheels, and fits just about anywhere. And on the water, this thing performs, featuring a super wide and flat hull shape that is stable and an elevated beach chair style seat that is comfortable. Or the all-new Hobie Mirage Lynx. Inspired by the shape of the inflatable kayaks, Hobie made a durable and ultralight hardtop model. It's the missing link. It looks like a hybrid of a stand-up paddleboard and a kayak. And the best part, at just 45 pounds, the hull weighs about half as much as similar-sized kayaks. And it's stackable. Pile them up on your roof rack or your truck bed. You gotta see this thing. Stop by the shop right on the water in Dana Landing Marina in Mission Bay. Or check us out online at fastlanekayaking.com.
Hey guys, this is Ali Husseini from Local Knowledge and BD Outdoors. I'm a lucky guy in so many ways, and one thing I'm really grateful for is my little brother Yosef. Yosef is not only a fellow angler, but he's also an amazing realtor that specializes in helping us in the angling community find the ultimate home. If you own a home, get a free no-obligation evaluation online now by typing in SoCalHomeEval.com. That's SoCalHomeEval.com. All you do is put in your address, and you'll get a home value report immediately sent to your email. No pressure, no obligations, just answers. Yosef is the SoCal real estate go-to guy. He's helped me and so many of my fellow fishing buddies find what they're looking for in a home. He knows anglers and he understands the real estate market. Not only that, but he's also a really nice guy. How many brothers can you say that about? Go to SoCalHomeEval.com and find out where you stand in the real estate market, and then get with Yosef and find your ultimate home. Again, go to SoCalHomeEval.com and we'll see you on the water.
This is Captain Tim Ekstrom from the long-range vessel Royal Star. With my partners Randy Toussaint and Brian Sims, we have set the bar for the long-range fishing experience. Spring 8-day, summer 5-day, or a fly-down, fly-back 11-day winter trip, we deliver the highest quality long-range voyage you will find. From our premium RSW fish storage to our top-of-the-line chefs and crew, Royal Star distinguishes itself from all others. Want to grab a spot on the Royal Star? Check us out at RoyalStarSportFishing.com or call Tracy at 619-224-4764.
Hey anglers, AFCO Pro Captain Ben Florentino of Coastal Charters here. As a full-time guide, I'm on the water all year long. It's my livelihood. Having the right clothing is of the utmost importance to staying warm, dry, cool, and comfortable to endure whatever the Pacific wants to throw at me. Thankfully, I'm equipped with AFCO clothing to keep me dialed season after season. Do yourself a favor and check out AFCO's award-winning gear at a dealer near you, or learn more at AFCO.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning. Again, if you want to get in on the fun, 213-432-1090. Talk about my favorite, and that's Parker Boats.
Yeah, Parker Boats. We love our Parker Boats, and I know there's a lot of fans out there with Parker. I mean, has there any idea how many Parkers? I mean, there was Blue Porpoise Marine with Natalie way in the back, and then, of course, West Coast and Kevin, and now you. Any idea how many Parkers have been sold in Southern California?
That's a great question. I don't know. I could probably find out from Parker just based on
hundreds, thousands.
It's got to be thousands.
Yeah, it has to.
I would imagine. I mean, when you go out fishing, what boat do you see?
A Parker.
Yeah, but there's a Parker.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
No matter what day of the week.
Like the spot says, always like you go out offshore, Parker Boats.
Yeah,
right?
in line at the bait receiver.
Parker Boats.
So
yeah, they're
totally.
There. Yeah, they're out there, and there's a reason, because the dependability, the durability, and the ease of use, right?
Yeah, and I think the buyer too. Like, these are guys that want to use their boat. They fish, and they fish hard.
I love the thing that you kind of touched on earlier, and just that it's the building block of whatever you want it to be. I mean, you can get a 2520 that is the most basic and has a motor and a bait tank and a steering wheel, and you have an awesome fishing machine. Or over the years, I've seen you and Kevin trick out some of those. I mean, and it's all things in between, like towers and steering, and then like wild stuff, that Kevin always loved showing off, that you guys have just done. I mean, everything, sky's the limit. Like, now
we're getting more and more inquiries on the 2320 for like trolling motors on these things too. So people want to put trolling motors on the bigger boats, which is a pretty fun idea.
Yeah,
they're awesome. But towers, huge bait tanks, all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah.
And then customers trick them out too. They'll go inside their own cabin and start they can always use more storage.
Yeah,
we know that. So people have really, really good ideas, and it's fun to follow what they come up with as far as storage and their layout on their boat.
Microwaves, and we're going to install this and that.
So much.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, inverters, the whole thing.
Oh, everything. You got to have the frozen burrito heated up with the microwave, hot coffee.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's the best.
That was the best thing we ever did on our boat. Is
put an inverter in, microwave.
That's it, man. Just to be able to, exactly that, get a carne asada burrito in the morning, but then that evening when you're when you're tired and want to come home and be able to fire that thing off in the microwave is huge.
Pretty nice.
Yeah.
Definitely. So phones are packing up. You want to get through 213-432-1090. Talk to Nick. Have a chance to win a pair of Costa sunglasses. And also, we have the texts coming in. The texts are rolling in just via the Let's Talk Hookup app. Great text here from Robert in Canyon Country. He wants to know about the different styles of walkarounds for Parker.
Sure. So you might remember the
sizes and everything.
Right. They had the 25, 28, the 10 models, the 2310s, I think. Those are discontinued. So now the walk-around models are the 2820, 2520,
Oh, they make a
2320.
28 walk-around.
Yeah. It's not the open back, but it's just the 2820 cabin boat.
Cabin boat.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Big platform.
But big walk-around.
3 foot more of deck space than the 25.
Wow.
Same cabin, same beam at 9.6.
Yeah.
Big platform, twin 300s on that.
But the walk-around version is not.
Walk-around version with the open
back door.
Open center.
Correct. No
Yeah.
longer.
Yeah.
That was a very neat boat, though.
Yeah.
Different.
Beautiful boat.
Yeah. 28. That's
Yes.
a big boat.
Big boat.
Yeah. Twin 300s.
Twin 300s on that one.
Nice.
Yep. Just went for a sea trial. That thing rides really nice.
I'll
And a
bet.
huge deck.
It's so big.
And you put
it's laughable big.
And a huge bait tank you can get on that thing.
And a huge bait tank, and it doesn't dent the space. You know,
No.
I've seen, I know Brandon Hayward has their 28 that runs out of Fisherman's Landing here that they run all their charters off of. I think that thing has a 100-gallon bait tank in it, and it looks, there's like 6 feet in front of it, and it feels like there's another behind it. I don't know how big that cockpit is, but it's freaking huge, man.
Yep.
That's a really cool boat.
Yeah.
Very neat
nice.
boat, yeah. Take all your friends.
Now, is that trailerable?
You can trailer that.
Yeah.
I think a bull was the right
A
word.
bull, yeah.
You might ask the
Triple axle trailer.
Triple axle trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah. You might need a special permit in California for that. It has to ask your local DMV.
Is it 9.6?
9.6, yeah.
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 So
Same
as the 25. Yeah.
Need a big
And
truck to pull it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You need a big truck to pull a 25?
Yeah. Half ton. 3/4 ton is probably
okay.
probably do it.
Yeah.
I'd go bigger just for the brakes on it, but yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So what axle, like a 3-axle trailer, 2-axle on the 25?
The 25 comes 2-axle.
A 2-axle
Just
pull it, huh?
bigger axles on the two
Okay.
on that trailer.
Yeah. And let's talk about trailers. Trailers, again, were hard to get.
Man, we had our fair share of problems getting trailers.
Yeah.
Pacific Boat Trailers stepped up and got delivered some trailers for us when we needed them.
Awesome.
They make really great trailers.
They're the best, yeah.
Wayne at West Coast Trailers makes great trailers in
great
Huntington
trailer.
Beach. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of good options for local trailer manufacturers.
We have had people call, questions, debate the merits of having a galvanized steel trailer versus an aluminum trailer. Any thoughts or input on that for guys that are kind of kicking those two around, and why you might do one versus the other?
It's a really good question, and it's one I've been wrestling with. It's just over the past 2 weeks almost.
Really? Okay.
Trying to figure out. I'm looking at them, which one is better, and I don't know. I like them both.
Yeah, they both have their merits.
Galvanized are awesome, and they last a long time. So do I-beam aluminum. I never had really an issue with any, except for trailer lights, of course. They never work. But.
Yeah, they equally suck on both.
Yeah. It's amazing. In the East Coast, like in Florida and stuff like that, you see pretty much all aluminum trailers.
Right.
They're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see a lot of galvanized. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. It might just be a West Coast thing.
Okay.
We'd have to dive back into somebody's
Yeah.
brain a long time ago who's been doing it longer than I have to figure out when galvanized was the hot ticket.
Yeah. So galvanized are a little heavier than aluminum, right?
Yep, a little heavier.
Yeah.
Same thing. I guess aluminum could maybe be rebuilt more over a longer period of time, but I don't know.
Yeah.
They're
both good.
They're both great.
Yeah.
If you were towing a long distance, would that factor at all into why you made the decision? Like if you were taking your boat to Baja, or if you lived a long way from the lawn tramp and you're towing greater distances. I like you say, I know in Florida, but Florida, there's a lawn tramp every 15 minutes. Does that make any type of a difference, or is the material kind of? They're both great, and
I think they're both great.
Okay.
You can do kind of bolt-on bunks with some trailers and get them for a cheaper price, and then you can weld on those bunks, so you can get all welded aluminum trailers, but you can get all welded galvanized trailers as well.
Sure.
Pacific does a great job with that. West Coast also does that.
So
there's levels to this whole thing.
West Coast and Pacific build galvanized and aluminum, or either one, or are they mostly?
West Coast is more aluminum I-beam.
Aluminum.
Pacific is where you're getting your galvanized.
It's galvanized. Okay. So that, but either way you choose. And what about price?
Relatively the same. Aluminum's a little bit cheaper.
Yeah. And both come with the like typically you're ordering, except for the 28, you're ordering a dual axle trailer.
Yeah, 23, 25, whether it's a cabin or center console, would come with a dual axle. And then the 28, it would be a triple axle.
Triple axle. Yeah. And what about if you're towing an 18?
18 comes with a single axle from the factory. There's
Wow.
a trailer manufacturer there that they use.
Oh, that's cool. So like it comes out.
It comes
on
out
a trailer?
on its own
On a
trailer.
trailer.
That's
Yes.
pretty
Galvanized or
No, I-beam aluminum.
I-beam aluminum? Okay. From North Carolina.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Very good. Lots of things to talk about.
Yeah, well, another text. Oh, go ahead, please.
Go ahead.
I was going to say another text came through. It says, Nick, please save me a 2520. I'll find my money somewhere. My question is about aftermarket propellers. With you spending so much time on the service side, do you feel that aftermarket propellers are worth the extra money, and what are the benefits? That's from Kevin in San Clemente.
I love this question. This is another one I've been really excited about. Propellers are a lot when we deal with these boats and motors. You need to get about 6,000 RPM on these 4-stroke motors. And these boats that are coming out, they are pre-propped from the factory. And I usually end up suggesting pitching down to gain more RPM because we always add more weight. To answer Kevin's question here, aftermarket propellers, there's a neat company that I'm trying to get a hold of called Sharrow Propellers. And I don't know if you've seen these, but the blades are fascinating. There's like each blade has a hole in it, and it looks like a ribbon. And it's worth checking out. And I was talking to somebody at the PCS show who has a 2530, the old extended cabin boat.
Yeah, the big cabin.
He put Sharrow props on twin 200s on his 2530 and was claiming 27% better fuel economy.
Whoa.
27?
Fascinating in finding out if this is real, and I just have to try it now because that's a huge fuel savings and range. I mean, just think about the more range you can get out of that, if that's true.
That's pretty impressive.
So Sharrow Propellers, give me a shout.
Sharrow.
Yeah.
And where are they based?
I actually don't know. Yamaha we can get them through Yamaha, but it's so new. It like just came out through Yamaha, and I've been wanting to try these. I've got to try them.
That's cool.
3-bladed prop?
3-bladed prop.
Yeah.
You got to look them up. They're wild looking.
Huh.
I was blown away at what the difference a new prop can do to your boat. I mean, we were always, happy with the performance that our boat had, but you described it perfectly. Like, we add a lot of stuff, 800 pounds of bait water from a big bait tank and all of the gear and all the ice and everything else. And we were under propped. And, when we did that change, it was like driving a new boat. It felt like you added 100 horsepower to the motor, and like we came on plane twice as fast, and our fuel economy. I mean, it's amazing how much something like a couple of degrees of pitch can change the entire performance of a boat.
That's right. So if you're listening, take your boat out and go wide open throttle. Trim that engine up to where you're getting the bow out of the water, and it's really moving. And you should be at 5,500 to 6,000 RPM.
Wow.
And if you're below 5, I would recommend either tweaking that prop you have. There's great companies up where we are, cutting edge propellers. They can actually shave material off that prop and increase it by 100 RPM, 200 RPM. They're pretty good at that.
Okay.
Or you can always buy a new one and pitch down, and that'll give you more RPM.
So at full trim and full speed, if you're getting 49.5, your prop is not doing the work for you.
No, at that whole RPM range, you should be higher towards 6,000 on a 4-stroke.
Much toward on a 4-stroke. Much toward like 5,500's okay, but 5,100's
a little low. Not running optimally.
Yeah, and like Ricky says, changing props.
Oh my God,
like night and day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like a new boat. I mean, just every aspect of it.
And fuel is so cheap too now that you just want to try and save as much as
you ain't lying, buddy.
Right? Yeah.
You ain't lying. Yeah. And the big thing too was we now plane, like we even plane at a slower speed and better. I mean, I'm telling you, it was like putting a different motor on. I couldn't believe that something that was. It looks the same, you know what I mean? You put those two things on the ground next to each other, they sure look a lot alike, but man, what a difference that can make.
Yeah. Well, hey, phones are packing up, 213-432-1090. Let's talk to, jump into the phones.
You got it, bro. How about we talk to Jim? He's calling us from National City this morning. Good morning, Jim. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, guys. I'm not a boat owner, but a couple of my friends are. And you mentioned earlier about trolling motors on these Parkers. Like on that 2520, I think you were talking about. What kind of trolling motor are you recommending for a boat like that for offshore?
Sure, good question. Like a Minn Kota, I have a Minn Kota Tarova on a little old whaler bass boat that we built up, but something like that would work out fine. You just have to go shaft length on that. They make these
on a 25, so an electronic trolling motor.
I would probably try to talk somebody out of a trolling motor on a 25.
Yeah.
Reason being is once you start doing that and you put that trolling motor up there with that bow rail, you ruin the space, the walk around space of fishing your whole boat. So the way most of the people are fishing these boats, we're using that whole space. Mm-hmm. But if you really wanted to, they make long shaft trolling motors that would work.
But if you have a 21 or an 18,
oh, yeah.
I mean, you do those all day long, right?
Oh, yeah. And that is so fun to have a trolling motor with that anchor spot lock thing they got on there. Oh, my gosh, yeah.
For bait fishing, for fishing Clemente.
Yes.
Yeah. I think also Jim was talking about maybe putting a trolling motor on the back, a four-stroke motor.
Almost like a kicker type?
Like a kicker type motor?
Oh, like a kicker type? Yeah, mostly that would be more of like a kicker 9.9, like Yamaha or something like that. You could do a get-home motor, like a fail-safe motor, plumbed into the fuel tank.
If you have a single engine.
If you have a single engine, you just put a kicker motor on that. I don't think a trolling motor is going to get you anywhere.
No.
But on that size of boat.
But a kicker motor is an option that you just put a bracket on and.
Yeah, on the Parker brackets that they come with, there is pre-drilled holes that you can put a plate and add 9.9 high thrust would be my recommendation.
Oh.
Tie it into the steering of the big engine, and you got your kicker motor, slow troll motor. Yeah.
Crazy to think about how much lesser you see boats that have a kicker motor on it today than you did 10 years ago or 15 years ago. I mean, that was what you did when the other one broke down. You still had something to go, and like the reliability of a Yamaha outboard now, like you just don't think about it.
No.
You just don't. I mean, that was. The kicker motor was on every boat you saw going offshore, and boy, think about how little you see that now, at least down here. I mean, I know that they for sure have their place for guys salmon trolling, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing to have, and extra fail-safe is always a good call, but it just the need for reliability it's just not there anymore. Yeah, you don't need it
for sure. You have another great text.
I thought so. It says, "Good morning, guys. What's the largest and smallest Parker they make now?" And then as a question to Nick, what do you recommend is the perfect Southern California boat? You've seen them all. That's from Doug in Claremont.
Size range for the Parker boats is they make a 29 center console that just came out.
Oh,
29.
I really don't know much about it other than what's on the website.
Interesting.
I've got to go back and check this thing out. So 29 center console, and then their 2820 cabin boat would be their biggest, smallest being the 1801 center console.
Yeah, which is what I have. And you actually have one of those in stock.
We currently do, yes.
Yeah, with the 150 power on it.
With the 150. And there's a T-top on that one.
Oh, and there's a T-top on it, too.
Yeah, looks nice.
Wow. What color's the hull?
White.
White. Perfect. Mm-hmm. So if somebody wants that, you're ready to deal on it.
Absolutely.
You're ready to make a deal on it.
So
perfect boat for bay fishing, for lobster hooping, for fishing inshore. You can even take that to Clemente, no problem.
For sure.
On the right day.
Yeah, and if you're doing the inshore bass thing, we could take that T-top off. That's not a problem either. We can squeeze a little bait tank actually in there underneath that seat.
Mm-hmm.
We do a Blue Water. He makes a 38-gallon tank that kind of cuts down to about 34 gallons.
Oh.
And it fits really neatly under that helm seat.
Under the seat.
And we can plumb it in. It's a really cool little boat.
Nice.
That's pretty slick.
Put a trolling motor on it, on the bow.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
I like it.
Sounds good to me.
I dig it. Hey, when we come back, we got more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. More talking Parker boats. We're going to check in with the catch report, find out what's biting up and down the beach, and a whole lot more. You stay tuned. You're listening to Southern California's sport fishing voice. This is Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
Dana Landing in Mission Bay is the one-stop shop for a great day on the water. This is Mia. Come see me and our expert staff for everything you need for your next fishing trip: food, bait, tackle, beverages, and more. Our tackle shop is certainly one of San Diego's finest. We have you covered from bay bass to big tuna and people that can help you get set up right. We also have Dougie, one of the best reel repair guys around. Need freshwater tackle? Head to East County Bait and Tackle, the best rods and reels, the hottest freshwater lures, and live bait. ECBT has an amazing staff who love to share their passion for fishing. We now also have Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle, both fresh and saltwater tackle, right in the heart of Lemon Grove. ECBT is at the end of the 67 freeway on Maple View and Lakeside. Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle take 94 to Broadway in Lemon Grove, and Dana Landing is right next to the Dana Launch Ramp in Mission Bay. Check danalanding.com for more details.
Hey, it's time to talk about great stuff from Shimano. And you know, Shimano and G. Loomis are partners.
Sure,
and
it's the family.
Last week at the show, they introduced an amazing rod. It's the new G. Loomis forged, the all-new IMX Pro Offshore Series rod. Pretty amazing rod.
We've gotten a chance to see the prototypes and got to watch the build process happen, and their goal was to build a perfect West Coast specific rod, and I think they just nailed it.
They did. 20 to 80 pound class rods with actions designed, like Ricky said, for West Coast techniques. They have the multi-taper design technology that adds materials in the blank where it's likely to fail and subtracts materials where it won't. They have a Sea Guide Glide Train Fuji reel seat. It complements the Battle Grip, and that Battle Grip, what an amazing grip that is. Super comfortable in your hands, super durable on the rail. And the other thing, those Loomis rods are super lightweight. You pick it up and it's like, come on, this is a rail rod?
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, they killed it. And I think their bait rods are where they really shine the most. It's just awesome. They nailed it. They're very lightweight. Typical like you would expect from Loomis, very high-end fit and finish. You mentioned the Guide Train, super high-end. I mean, they are very, very nice fishing rods. And such a great addition. You know, rods have not been easy to get, and to now have a fantastic new option at a competitive price, we're really happy.
Yeah, they're going to be hitting the stores here in the next couple of weeks, so watch for it. The new purpose-built IMX Pro Offshore Series rod from G. Loomis.
Seasoned long-range fishermen know that the Red Rooster 3 is the finest fishing vessels in terms of technology, design, speed, comfort, and safety. This 105-foot sport fishing yacht meets every demand for comfort while delivering an unforgettable fishing vacation. Captain Andy Cates and crew are experienced, friendly, and sincere in their desire to help you have the trip of a lifetime. Book a trip on the Red Rooster 3, and you'll be back. Trips go fast. So check redrooster3.com or call Lee Palm Sport Fisheries at 619-224-3857.
Safe travel should always include travel insurance. This is Bob Dawson at Dawson & Associates. We offer many different plans, from one-year plans to single-trip plans. Traveling twice or more a year, an annual plan will cover most every trip that you make. Also, if you get injured on a trip, it'll fly you back home or fly you to a hospital of your choice, and it's worldwide coverage once you're 100 miles from home. So call me at 619-990-3068 or go to safariglobaltravel.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning talking Parker boats.
Yeah, and watching the Royal Polaris pull off the dock right now. Look at that. And you know who's driving? You can see the fuzzy hair. Big Roy. Big Roy. They're just on their way out on an 18-day trip. Good luck to those gentlemen and ladies on the Royal Polaris as they pull away from Fisherman's Landing
18
there.
days.
Yeah, big one.
A long time.
Yeah.
That's cool.
They're going to go. Fishing's been really good down there. So I would imagine when they come back, it's going to be quite a load that they're unloading. And we also want to say congratulations to Big D.
Yeah.
Because this is his last trip on the Royal Polaris as a crew member.
Yeah, what a cool feel that is. Daryl Shelbourne, who's been with the boat for so long. This is the final trip as crew member, Big D.
Yeah.
And retiring after this one.
After this
what a
one.
rad career. And think about
decades.
Think about all of the crazy fishing that Big D has seen over the years.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Pretty unreal.
Yep, awesome.
Yeah, and all the great pictures he's taken, too.
Yeah, well, congratulations, Daryl. That's awesome.
Yeah, and and good luck to the guys and gals on the Royal Polaris as they pull away from Fisherman's Landing right now.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, hey, with that said, it's time to find out what's biting out there. It is time for our Catch Sport. Man, hey, go see Don and Heidi from Anns and Knives at Day at the Docks. It's next Sunday, a week from today. They're going to have a complete selection of their Fish Pro series, as well as all the other popular fillet knives, their hunting knives, and more. more. Anza knives are handmade right here in San Diego County from the finest high-carbon steel. That's the big deal. It holds a great edge, so much better than traditional metals. Check out the Anza Knives booth next Sunday at Day at the Docks. We're going to head on up to Dana Wharf Sport Fishing, talk to Captain Brian Woolley. He's on the line right now. What's up, Woolley?
Hey, good morning, guys. What's happening this morning?
Talking fishing, having a good time, man.
Right on, man. 18 days. I don't think we've been able to get the boat off the dock 18 days in the last 2 months.
Yeah. Well, they're heading south. It's going to be a little warmer down there.
A little different,
to the tropics.
Right? Holy cow. Well, hey, super short and simple report for us this week. Nothing really stands out really any different than what we've had the last few weeks, really. It's kind of another cookie-cutter week with, the weather had us at the dock for a majority of the week. Water temps here on our stretch, I'm sure it's the same down that way. Still cold, 55, just kind of that standard off-colored runoff-y deal close to the harbor with some of those river mouths and stuff like that. So the half-day action was on the slower side as a result of that stuff. A little bass action on the bottom for those guys fishing the sinkers, like the heavier sliding egg sinkers or the dropper loop type deal. Some sheephead in the mix, and then a sample of sculpin and whitefish. So picky fishing for sure. Really, it was just the guys that were just itching to get away from the rain. I think on some of those weather days were the guys that were out with us, looking to do something. They certainly weren't lighting the world on fire as far as catch goes. I think it was just to get the equipment out there and use that. And then 3/4 day. We did fish a couple days during the week, too. It seems like we're getting the boat out for sure on Tuesdays because it's half-price deal. But then some of those, this is sculpin, white abs, blue upper loops for sculpin, and, more this week. So reservations. We'll stay looking forward to this rock options on the table for guys wanting to come fish that with us. We have an all-day trip. We'll be fishing Catalina. So there's some openings on that on the 1st, as well as just our regular, coastal 3/4 day fishing that cod. And then the first open availability on the Fury, I believe he leaves Monday. I think that's the 3rd, fishing the 4th. But whatever that first Monday is in April, he's going to be out there at Clemente looking around as well. So check your calendar.
And that's the good news, too, is that's 3 weeks from yesterday is the cod opener. And I also want to throw out a huge thank you and congratulations to CCA California for these new it doesn't go into effect till 2024, but how about those cow cod conservation openers, huh? Brian?
That's a big deal. Yeah, that's a big deal. So we'll, it shows lots. It's multifaceted, obviously. It shows that people are actually willing to listen, that there's been some good conservation across the board on everyone's part. And, it's a reopening of something. It's hard to fathom. It seems like whenever things get shut down and closed, it's done forever, right? So this has been a good win that something's actually getting repealed and opened back up, and we'll get some shots of that stuff.
Imagine being able to keep a cow cod. That's going to be awesome.
That'd be cool.
And also fishing the 43 or the Cherry or some of those great banks out there. All that stuff's going to open back up. I would believe that would be April 1st of 2024, right? Right.
I haven't read exactly everything, but that's kind of what I've heard coming down the pike. So we'll have to certainly, you know, get some more info before we
awesome. Yeah, I was not aware of that. That's great. Good job. Yeah. Good job, Wayne and team and everybody. And like that's great.
And the Pacific Fisheries.
So you know those guys. Yep, can only do that with people becoming members of CCA. You know, Dana Wharf's been a big proponent of pushing CCA membership. So if people are still on the fence and haven't figured out that it's almost an absolute must if you're a fisherman in SoCal to jump on that CCA thing. So.
And it just shows it gets results, right? It works.
Does.
I mean, having representation
awesome.
in these meetings and such. I mean, now we're fighting the 30-30. Having that representation is going to save our fishery.
It's a big deal.
Now, I did not know this thing. I'm fired up, man. That's cool news.
So, anyways, that's all I got.
Thanks,
really
Willie.
for us this week. All right, guys, call the landing here. Our number 949-496-5794, and you guys know how to find us at DanaWharf.com.
Yeah, and of course, you can click that banner right on the front page of the Let's Talk Hookup website, letstalkhookup.com. Click on the Dana Wharf banner, gives you all the specifics, and takes you right to DanaWharfSportFishing.com. Thanks, Captain Brian Woolley,
Cool.
and we'll be celebrating here over a whole year waiting for catching cow cod legal.
Right, we got lots to prep your gear. All right, guys, have a good week. Later.
Hey, appreciate that. While we're waiting for our surf guru to join, fun text message come through. Hey, good morning, boys. I got a question for Nick. Nick, do you guys build your own bait tanks for the Parker, or do you refer to other bait tank manufacturers? What are your favorites? And then a particular question, what is the maximum size bait tank that you can put on a 2320? And also, how many scoops will it appropriately hold? That's all from Rick in Los Alamitos.
Good question, Rick. Bait tank for 2320, I think I would typically putting a 65-gallon on that. You could probably push it to a 75-gallon. It just takes up deck space. And we're using Randy at Blue Water Bait Tanks. We're using his tanks primarily the last couple years, and they just work. The 2520 I run has a 75-gallon bait tank. Depending on the bait, it's like a 2-scoop bait tank, but again, it just kind of depends.
Yeah, maybe 2.5 at 75-gallon.
You nailed it so right too with the bait making such a big difference. You know, like this time of year when the bait's had a lot of time to cure and it's healthy, you could probably sneak a little more in there. Summertime when the guys are working their butts off just to keep bait in the receiver and it hasn't had as much time to cure, maybe you put a little bit less in there. You know.
Yeah. For sure.
We have on our 25, we have a Pacific Edge 80-gallon tank that Mark built for us, and we usually put 3 scoops in that. Again, depending on bait quality. Sometimes we put a little more than that, sometimes we put a little lesser than that, but about 3 scoops is what we usually put in our 80-gallon tank, and we've had tremendous success keeping bait in that Pacific Edge tank.
Yeah. And what about pumps? I mean, you guys do all the installation of the pumps and such like that and find the right pump. I mean, Randy's an expert and, knows exactly what you put this pump on this tank, right?
Yeah, he knows all of that. But his tanks, it's nice because the inlet and the outlet are the same, whether it's a 65, 75, or 85, or 100.
Nice.
And the pumps... Man, I've gone back and forth on pumps. There's a love-hate relationship.
I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
With those. I'm currently running a Cyclone, one of the stainless steel pumps.
That's what I have, yeah.
Excuse me. And that one, I love it because it's really quiet. I think there's a good way to mount that because inside there's this ceramic seal that sometimes leaks. So if the motor is facing up and you put that pump against like a bulkhead or a wall, they seem to last longer. Mine's just mounted next to the batteries horizontally, and I'd never had a problem leaking. So these things, I mean, there's just a love-hate relationship with bait pumps. I always carry a spare.
Yeah.
You have to. Or we installed 2 bait pumps and a valve, so you have fail-safes in there. That's always a good idea. Yep. There's a lot you can do with that.
Yeah. The nice thing about that, like you say, carry a spare, be able to shut the water off so you can change that spare on the go as you need.
Yep.
There's a lot of things you can do to make sure. But yeah, that Cyclone pump, I'm not going to what I don't want to say it too loud, but they work.
It's been working. They're very expensive.
Yeah,
so
there
are less expensive alternatives that work probably just as well.
Yes.
I've had good luck with that Cyclone pump.
I don't know.
No?
I mean, it's a great pump, but we...
what are you using?
I've had one fail.
That's what we, I mean, you said it best. Love-hate relationship. I mean, we have had the first one that we got, dude, lasted so long, and then now we just don't get nearly as much life out of that as we used to.
So let's talk about how it's mounted. How is it mounted?
Yeah, ours is in the bilge area, and it's mounted to. It's mounted
Flat.
to a piece. Yeah, it's mounted on a piece of starboard that's kind of tucked up and back, but it's in the bilge battery area. For sure, it's it's there. Water does get into that area, no doubt. I mean, I don't know. It's up high where it's not like in through it, and we run screens in front of it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if we could be doing a better job with it. I don't know if it just. We put
Nick,
a bunch of hours on it. I don't
might
know.
be you. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, there's other alternatives too. You can go Piranha. You can go SureFlow, Rule. There's a lot of upscale pumps that you can buy that'll last. But
you put strainers on them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Always a strainer before.
Always a strainer.
Yep. And then clean it out. You know?
Yeah.
Just because the strainer's there doesn't mean you don't need to service that thing.
Yeah, definitely.
We have 2 through hulls and two pumps that run into a manifold, so we can shut one off, and we can have one pump can run the main tank and also the in-transom stern tank, and that cyclone pump is definitely enough that just that one pump can run both of those.
Wow.
But if one or the other goes bad, we can turn a valve, and each pump can push water to either tank if you need. So it's just a really good system that if one does happen or you hear the bearing starting to go, whatever, you can just reach down, turn a valve, and use the other pump to operate if need be.
That's
So it's been really good. Like we haven't ever lost bait because of it, but bait pumps are just bait pumps, man. I can't find the perfect thing.
And just be careful where you put that switch for the bait pump. In Parker's, sometimes your knee might turn that thing off.
Oh,
that's good.
Don't
tip.
want that to happen.
Yeah,
that's a good tip.
No, that's a real good tip. Maybe is there a way to put in a safety?
Yeah, you can put a switch in a different location, and you can put a light on that switch too.
Okay.
So when you do
What
hit
about
the
a cover?
switch, yep, all that works.
All
but
that.
just horror stories of
Yeah.
losing bait.
Sure. Oh man, I kicked the switch.
It just hurts.
No, I went back. Oh, my date was there.
Especially because you're in that pilot house and it's warm and you got the tunes on and you're just not thinking twice about it. And hanging out with the boys about all the big fish you're about to go crush, and then you get back there and like, oh man, I screwed up. That's a good tip.
Start chunking.
Yeah. I hope they bite the chunk today.
Yeah. Hey, let's go. Our surf guru extraordinaire, Gundy Gunderson's on the line. Good morning, Gundy.
Hey, Gundy.
Hey, when I worked on the Supreme, one of the guys I worked with accidentally shut the pump off.
Oh, no.
We were down the line, and we lost a whole load of bait, and it was an interesting thing watching him tell Tommy Rothery that all the bait was gone.
I was just going to say, what?
Oh, did he get thrown overboard?
Tommy probably had bad words that I didn't even know existed. Like,
he had like 3 or 4 different expressions, and then he said, all right, we're going into the beach to make mini-max. You know what I mean? It's just like, that's what happens. You have to deal with it, and you got to move forward. That's just a long-range captain's view. But, yeah, not much on the report, guys. It's, patience, grasshopper. We had a little bit of window where the guys got out there on those northern beaches, Santa Barbara, Ventura, Oxnard, and 1 1.25 pound fish, not real good fishing,
Oh, shoot. Sounded like we dropped Gundy.
Drop Gundy there. Well, let's talk to Scott Sherman. Oh, there he is. Wait a minute. Before we go to Scott, you back, Gundy?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know I was down.
Yeah. Okay.
You got me now?
Yeah, we got you.
Clear.
Okay, yeah, I'll make it quick. Patience, grasshopper. That's what I got to say. We just got to wait for conditions. A few guys got out in the windows we've had here in the last week or two, and a few nice 2-pound class fish, mostly a pound, but conditions are tough, and obviously that's the case. But once things straighten out, I'm telling you, we'll get going real quick here, and I don't anticipate that more in a few weeks. Once we get through the storm track, just patience, grasshopper.
Fish are going to be hungry when we get through this.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, they're going to be hungry.
But even in the tough conditions, like I said, a few 2-pound class barred perch, and that's something to hold on to.
All right.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Good show, guys. Good information, man, on the bait pumps, all that kind of stuff. Love to hear it.
Thanks, Gundy. Great to hear from you. And I think by next Sunday we'll be live, of course, next Sunday at Day at the Docks. So we'll talk to you from Day at the Docks and get a report, because I think this next week coming up after this little storm on Wednesday, it's going to start getting better.
You're right, and it's going to start too. And like you said, have a good week, gentlemen.
All right.
See you, Gundy.
Thanks, Gundy. Talk to you next Sunday.
All right. That's going to wrap up our catch report. Hey, want to remind you, catch Benji Kim, Corey Sandin, and Bill Varney all in Long Beach at the upcoming Bart Hall show during the Friday pre-show seminar. They're basically going to cover everything from fishing from the beach, including catching your first halibut from the surf. For more information or to reserve your spot, check out fishthesurf.com/seminars. A really cool thing. You basically get to check out this killer seminar. It'll just be to the tickets that are sold into that room. It's a limited amount.
100 people.
And then
150 people.
Then you get to go straight into the show. It's it's just a really cool.
And it sells out every year. It's a huge deal.
Yep, no doubt.
And you get the back door into the Bart Hall Long Beach
That's a big
show.
deal too. Yeah, you're not having to wait in line. You slide right in. It's a really cool event. And again, just to hear Corey talk surf halibut fishing, and then that's like Corey's thing. So into it, and he was talking about Benji Kim being like that's somebody that he looked up to, So this is going to be a really good seminar.
Yeah, and Bill Varney on Kitchen Perch and Corvina and all that stuff. It's a good one. Yeah, for sure. Again, Fish the Surf /seminars. Buy your tickets now.
Totally, because it will go away. Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. Another full hour. We're going to be checking in with all great buds. Got Sherm on the line. More of your phone calls, more of your texts. You stay tuned. Let's Talk Hookup coming your way in the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
Day at the Docks is back, and Fisherman's Landing Tackle will have our largest booth ever. Hi, this is Doug Kern. Both in the shop and out in the parking lot, we will feature our huge inventory of rods, reels, lures, clothing, and more, all on sale. The fishing season is almost here, so take advantage of our inventory and our sale prices while you can. Plus, our expert staff at Fisherman's Landing Tackle will help you get all the right stuff. Day at the Docks and Fisherman's Landing Tackle. Take advantage of all the great deals Sunday, April 19th. The name that stands out among anglers is Fisherman's Landing, your top choice in local and long-range fishing. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet. Fisherman's Landing offers half-day trips on the Dolphin and full-day trips on the Liberty. Many trips can be easily booked online at fishermanslanding.com. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
When it comes to fishing rods for saltwater, there's just one name you need to know, CalStar. Take, for example, the Graphiter series. It's a true graphite and fiberglass composite rod, the finest it's ever been built. And for anglers seeking traditional performance, durability, and quality at an affordable price, the CalStar West Coast series of rods and blanks are the ones for you. Their master craftsmen bring decades of rod building experience to every rod they make. So if you want your fishing rods to be truly state-of-the-art, I always recommend CalStar at fine tackle stores everywhere.
Great fishing is what Seaforth Sports Fishing in Mission Bay is all about. With free parking and fully stocked tackle shop, Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Apollo, Outer Limits, Elgato Doe, Pride, Polaris Supreme, Tribute, Pacifica, Pacific Void, and the Venture. New Seaforth, Sandy, finest half and full day trips available. Seaforth Sport Fishing. For charters or schedule, check seaforthlanding.com. Run by fishermen for fishermen in Mission Bay.
Here's John Ireland for Rancho Leonero.
The ranch is small, it's very personal, very intimate. I don't think there's anywhere else that you could have the old Baja feel and have all the miles of beachfront, the palapa roofs and the stone walls. There's not a room that you don't have some kind of ocean view. You don't give up any amenities at the ranch. It's just very rustic. You know how when you cook outdoors it tastes better? Well, that's Rancho Leonero. It just tastes better. We have paddle boards, we've got kayaks, we've got snorkeling equipment, of course. We've got 12 super pongas. We have dive trips. We've got over 40 kayaks at the hotel. We've got all accurate equipment, very top of the line. And when the fishing's good, we'll freeze your fish, pack it all up, send it home with you. People love it. They'll come back 5-6 times a year. That's the highest accolade we can get. 1-800-646-2252, 646-BAJA. And RanchoLeonero.com. It's unique.
It's Ford Truck Month, San Diego. Time to get up and get into a new Ford F-150. Part of the F-Series, America's best-selling truck for 46 years straight. And here's some big news. There's a great selection of Ford F-150s in stock and ready for delivery today. So visit your San Diego County Ford dealer and see all the fantastic offers on America's best-selling trucks that are available during Truck Month. They'll be glad to hook you up.
Hi, it's John Ireland from Rancho Leonero Resorts. Come join us at the Bart Hall shows this coming February at the Del Mar Fairgrounds and March at the Long Beach Convention Center. It's going to be a great time. Look forward to seeing you there.